The Board of Trustees of the New Nigeria People's Party has announced the suspension of its national leader and presidential candidate, Rabiu Kwankwaso. The party's National Working Committee has also been suspended. According to the Board of Trustees, Kwankwaso participated in discussions with prominent figures including President Bola Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi without authorization. The suspension, effective immediately, is expected to last for the first 6 months. During this period, the disciplinary committee will conduct an investigation into the allegations to determine the extent of Kwankwaso's involvement in the activities.
As a party, we've been having some difficulties, in the past 1-2 months. People have been able to identify where exactly the problems are coming from. We've had cases of high-handedness on the part of some leaders of the party that we believe in so much. We have also had cases of people not being able to discharge their duties the way they should. And we have a constitution that puts in the hands of the BOT, of our great party, what you will not find, the powers that you won't find in the constitution of any other party. And that is the powers to, get things straightened out when the party gets into a difficult situation like we have now.
The party noticed that since after the elections, there had been a lot of people engaging in different anti-party activities, most especially the presidential candidate of the party, Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. His activities has been purportedly illegal to the act of the party. So he had been having some other dealings with other parties, with the current leadership in the country, with other political parties without the concept of the party, and also paraded himself as the leader, as the national leader of the party. So the party went into the constitution to search, is there an office of the national leader? There's nothing like a national leader for a failed presidential candidate. And that is why we have said the disease from saying he is a national leader of the party, rather, and also the party, the General Congress today has ratified that for investigation to properly take place, Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso should proceed on a 6-month suspension.
The resolution of the BOT is what I have to anchor on. And today we have come here and it was ratified, because an adoption was done on it. So I think we can go from there. Once it has been adopted, I think there's no going back on it. That is the stand of the BOT and the national body here today.
For more on this development, our colleague spoke to NNPP chieftain and pro-Kwankwaso party member, Buba Galadima.
I know Major Agbo was the national publicity secretary of this great party. And he can't claim ignorance, or else I show you documents that he was a member of the National Disciplinary Committee set up by this party. He participated in all the activities of the disciplinary committee, and he also signed and took money for sitting allowance throughout, including hotels that he stayed. So he couldn't claim ignorance that he did not know what was happening. But let me put the record straight.
Right.
About a month ago, this disciplinary committee submitted its findings to the National Working Committee of the party. And the National Working Committee adopted wholesale the report of the disciplinary committee set up by it. And we applied to INEC 3 weeks notice to hold a NEC meeting, National Executive Committee meeting of the party. And today's meeting was attended by 4 representatives of INEC, all the elected people on the platform of this party in the National Assembly and in the state assemblies, including our only governor. All the 37 state chairmen of the party were present. All the members of NEC were all present. The only person that was absent was Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso himself, who was represented by the vice presidential candidate of the party. Therefore, if there is any meeting today The authentic meeting is the one that was held in Abuja and attended by INEC. 3 times they tried to smuggle a letter purportedly as elected representatives of this party to INEC, and it was rejected by INEC. Now, what they did is a preemptive move, because only 7 of them were in that meeting. Of the chairman, out of the chairman, 10 that were sacked and their executives were dissolved. The issue is, why did we dissolve those executive committees?
Exactly. Why?
Because they performed anti-party activities. They were working for other interests outside NNPP during the election. They took money from us. They did not dispense. They also took our even agents' cards and sold to opposition parties in their states. We can't have such people in our party. We are not political jobbers. We are in this political party is a serious business. So how can we have such a people in this our party? So the NEC today was to ratify the expulsion and dissolution by the National Working Committee of the party. It is because they had this was happening that they organized a kangaroo meeting of 7 people in Lagos to say that they have expelled Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Of course, they are in the news. That's what they are looking for. So their masters who are giving them money will now say, they had done a good job. Let's establish one fact. Is Major Agbo speaking for himself or he's speaking for the BOT? Let's establish his own credentials first.
Right.
I told you who met, the National Exco of the party met in Abuja today. And I rolled out who have been here. Did Agbo tell you himself and who did meet in Lagos? Are they members of the party? Kwankwaso took permission from us when he was going to France. 13 members of the National Caucus of the party met, and he put down this issue that the president wanted to see him. What is our opinion? And each and every one of us that was there, except myself that did not speak on that day, because I knew what led to that meeting. And there is a misconception from him about politics. This party belongs to all Nigerians. I was a founder number 4, signatory to the formation of the APC. I'm not there today. There is only one man out, and he's been expelled. In fact, what pains me is that you pair me with him. He's not a member of the party. He shouldn't speak for the party.
And in another development, a faction loyal to Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso rose from a National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja to announce the expulsion of Chairman of the NPP Board of Trustees, Boniface Aniebonam. Also expelled are the National Publicity Secretary, Agbo Major, and 10 State National Working Committee members, forming a parallel National Working Committee and State Executive Council. The Kwankwaso group also adopted motions to extend the tenure of the acting national chairman, Abba Kawu Ali, to redesign the party's logo. Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State, who is the only governor in the party, said he will work closely with Senator Kwankwaso in his effort to reposition the NNPP. So joining us now on the show as we take a look at the crisis brewing in NNPC is Ladipo Johnson, NNPP spokesman, and Comrade Oginni Olakposi Sunday, acting national secretary, NNPP. I'd like to come to you, Comrade Oginni. What faction are you?
Thank you. As far as we are concerned, there's only one NNPP. We can be talking about Kwankwaso group, which maybe the Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, who happened to be our former candidate in the presidential election, may be claiming to lead. Because what they are saying and the meeting they said they are holding the meeting in Kwankwaso's bedroom. And people like us, we've kicked against that. Let them come with the proof. Then the point now is this. Let me get it clear. There is only one board, the board of trustees of the party, and as the conscience of the party, they sat in Lagos. All these people that are talking here, they joined the party less than 8 months ago, not up to 1 year. When Buba Galadima that was talking there went to Uwaulu to be begging Dr. Boniface Aniebonam to give Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso this platform to contest. Nobody query anything. They are just feasting on the magnanimity of a man called Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, who is being feared as a Nigerian. He's from Anambra State. He gave the platform of the party that he founded 22 years ago to a northerner. This is not how to treat a man that tried to be a pan-Nigeria. And as far as we are concerned, the New Nigeria People's Party, we took back our party from these people who are tenants. I've never seen where tenants will come and issue the landlord a quick notice. It is impossible. What they are doing is an aberration. And we are talking about New Nigeria. And I want to sign this warning. New Nigeria is a party that God brought out with a vision. Dr. Aniebonam is an agent of God. He's a messenger of God. And because of that, God gave him the vision. The vision of New Nigeria was given to Dr. Aniebonam, not Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, with due respect, also floated a party that has packed up. They did not have any platform.
What party was that?
I cannot even recollect the name of the party, but that was even, I can recollect that there's one guy from Kwara that was the chairman of the party, Asiwaju. The party packed up because they couldn't make it. Now they went to PRP, they went to Accord, nobody could accommodate them because they know the antecedent. But in the magnanimity of our founder, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, when they started calling people like us that they want to join this party, they met some of our people and we said, Baba Aniebonam, can you be in Lagos? He said, most of the time during January, he will be at his village in Uwalu. And they went. Those people that went with this Baba Galadima is an old person. An old person who don't come here to speak some things to Nigeria that doesn't happen. As an elder statesman, I expect Baba Galadima at this point in time to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. The truth was that they went to Uwalu to go and beg Dr. Boniface Aniebonam that they needed a platform to contest. And Dr. Boniface now said the NNPP is there. They said they have TNM. They have the Kwankwaso. Then those people, the bat of NNPP was done by Dagaf. Dr. Aniebonam funded Dagaf, which is the Association of Freight Forwarders, the registered government-approved freight forwarders in Nigeria. And after Dagaf, God gave him another vision to fund NNPP. And God gave him the name, New Nigeria. And when they came, there was an MOU that was signed. Senator Kwankwaso signed. It was part of those agreements. And at the point of the time, we started moving. Now, the founder of the party is only one, which is Dr. Boniface Aniebonam. If they are claiming that there's no founder today, why did they go to Uwalu to go and meet him? And now, for this thing happening, we started making complaints. What they did was that there are a lot of things anomaly that happens at that national headquarters. Let them come and tell Nigerians that they are not holding their meeting in Kwankwaso bedroom. What is called neck? The neck they are talking about does not exist. I and this Ladipo Johnson is a barrister. We were on one television station. I know him. When we were there, I was the one that pointed out to him with this constitution that your neck has never met. Then they hurriedly go and organize a neck in the house of Kwankwaso to start to stamp what was not. So
that means if you said the meetings were held in Kwankwaso's bedroom,
yes,
his bedroom must really be very big, you know. But let's come to Mr. Ladipo Johnson. Mr. Ladipo Johnson, all that Comrade Oginni has said, what's your reaction to it, sir?
Kwankwaso's bedroom is very big indeed, Rufai. You see, unfortunately, it's not about shouting, and it's not about sentiments, being sentimental and trying to whip up sentiments. Oh, someone magnanimously gave his party, you all got there was an MOU. That's not the issue. The issue is that, yes, there was an MOU. My Rufai, Ayo, and Kayode, a political party, you have many subscribers to it. And the Constitution begins by saying, we, the people. Now, yes, Dr. Aniebonam was one of the founders, and maybe a major one. No one is saying that is not the case. And I'm glad he spoke about the national headquarters. He's saying we're not there, yet he said those people are the national headquarters. The problem here is that after the elections, it was the same Dr. Aniebonam that called some of us, myself inclusive, say, Johnson, what are you looking at? This party, we have transactional politicians. And he, of course, mentioned my brother in the studio. He mentioned Comrade Oginni. And when the disciplinary committee wrote to him, whatever, I don't even want to make this about him. That's where it started, from the expulsion, from his expulsion. Then we sat down to look at some states were in the process. And even with those states, there were dissolutions of the executive, no suspensions. It was later when they decided that they would start doing things that were not for the benefit of the party. Mr. Comrade Oginni, who is with you, went to court. He went to court, and it was clear in the judgment that, look, go and finish the internal procedures. There are a plethora of Supreme Court cases and other cases to this effect. Go there. Well, go there. When you do that, when you follow the process, then we'll know. Luckily, when Mr. Oginni had issues, because there were issues in Ogun State, he had issues with the police. Dr. Aniebonam, this is where the problem started with Dr. Aniebonam. He now single-handedly wrote a letter to the police saying that he had reversed. First, he said that Comrade Oginni was still the chairman, who the state had been dissolved. And then much later, he wrote a letter single-handedly that he had reversed decisions of the National Executive, decisions of the National Working Committee. Look, I have my constitution here, right? The Board of Trustees, which we haven't even constituted. It's in the process. But because the elections were around the corner and the main things to have been constituted were the executives, including my brother, Comrade Oginni, as state executive, all the way to the national, we said, okay, they agreed that Dr. Aniebonam would be chairman, Buba Galadima would be secretary. And through the campaign, they were called that. But the actual board hadn't met. The board is an advisory board. Yes, the board can call to order. Can Dr. Aniebonam on his own, without the meeting of the board, call to order? Can you simply say, okay, there was a memo, now INEC has recognized that there has been a convention, there have been NEC meetings, including yesterday, where INEC was there, and then you now just gather. I'm glad Comrade Oginni said it. They gathered yesterday in Akpakpa, and then you now tell me that they are members of NAGAV, right, who may not necessarily be members of NNPP. What sort of meeting is that? And that you are suspending a member, yes, Senator Kwankwaso. Secondly, can you say that when you complained last week that the member of the Board of Trustees was wrongfully suspended by the working committee, and others complained that they were suspended by the working committee? How did they transit from people who were suspended within a week or 2 weeks to people who are now saying that they are a constituted board? It's a farce. It's a joke. But unfortunately, the way our country operates is that when people gather anywhere and say they are this, the press will listen to them. They have to listen to them. So please, I'm just pleading, Rufai, in your introduction. The NNPP is the NNPP. There is now established a group of people who can call themselves a faction. But we are the NNPP.
Mr. Johnson,
we held the neck yesterday.
Let me ask you a question.
As you heard.
Mr. Johnson, let me come in here.
Yes,
please.
I can hear you.
Okay, so with regards to the allegations, so away from, yes, you've explained, both of you have explained which faction, based on your faction, you established that indeed Dr. Aniebonam was one of the founders, in fact, a major founder, but there are systems and procedures in place. But I want to ask you, the allegations of anti-party activities, is this true or false? Has the NAWEL from the Lagos group suspended Senator Musa Kwankwaso? Has he been involved in anti-party activities? Has he had conversations with this particular administration, President Bola Tinubu of the APC? Has he had conversations with the PDP? Has he had conversations with the Labour Party? And for Comrade Oginni, it'll be interesting to see how this will play out, because what a number of people know as the NNPP is that there are major bases in the north, especially in Kano State, where incidentally you have your only elected governor. How will the party stand since the only elected governor under your party is with the Kwankwaso movement and is supporting the Abuja group of this party? How would you work around that? Let me start with Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much. The first thing I'll say about anti-party is that Comrade Oginni himself will tell you why he was expelled. 2 days to elections, he went and declared, without consulting his party, he had a gubernatorial candidate, and he went and supported the gubernatorial candidate of another party. And these were on video and everything. So that is it. With Senator Kwankwaso, you remember the first one was all the talk about is Labour, is Kwankwaso and Peter Obi coming together? Are they coming together? I was part of the three-man committee. Labour had three. Donyo Okukwe led them at that time. Buba Galadima led us. I was part of the three. Peter Obi wasn't there. Kwankwaso wasn't there. And we spoke, and we couldn't reach consensus at them. And so that merger didn't happen. That is not anti-party, because the party knew about it. Same thing, you have a government in place that says, oh, I want to have a government of national unity. They reach out to your leadership. And then he says to the national caucus, leaders of the caucus, that, look, they have approached me. Let us go. Let's listen to what they have to say. We went to France. Later, went to the, I think it's been at the villa twice. Is that hobnobbing? At each time briefing those at the national level about what was going on? That is not anti-party. And then furthermore, he hasn't said that today, but furthermore, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar went to visit him at home. All of a sudden, the social media was that himself, Atiku and Peter Obi are coming together for a runoff, which we don't know will happen or not, depending on what the tribunal says. That's not Atiku going to visit him at home, where they didn't, you understand, no one was there to say they discussed working together. That is not anti-party. Comrade Oginni,
how about with this particular
was...
Mr. Johnson, how about with President Tinubu? Was Senator Kwankwaso in any way approached by this administration to serve, or did he perhaps have conversations in that light? Just to set the record straight.
That's what I said. I said that they proposed the government of national unity. Would you listen to that or not? As a responsible national leadership.
Specifically, Mr. Johnson.
Sorry?
Specifically.
That's what I'm saying, Ayo. It's simple.
Hold on, sir, sorry.
I'm telling you that he met with him.
Okay. So government of national unity aside, was he in the position to be offered the role of minister in this administration? And if he were to have been offered under the umbrella of government of national unity, would he have accepted? And would that be tantamount to anti-party activities?
No, hang on. If he had been offered, we're now speaking hypothetically, if he had been offered, he would have had to come back to the national leadership, and at the National Working Committee, we would have said yes or no, because we knew what was going on all along. Now, that didn't happen. So where lies the anti-party activities? The Yorubas have a saying, Dabinda. That is the problem of Mr. Oginni. His own was clear. He went there in front of TV and adopted another candidate against his own candidate. And the whole party were like, what? and they wrote against him. That didn't happen in Senator Kwankwaso's, and he's the one that started it.
All right, thank you,
before,
Mr. Johnson.
Others like Agbo Major started to say that.
Let me come back into the studio. Thank you. Comrade Oginni, your take on this. I asked you a question with regards to the Kano influence. The only elected governor you have under the NNPP is the governor of Kano State. How would you manage that situation? What hold would you have as a party?
Thank you very much. I know the Nigerians, they are watching and they are looking. And what we have succeeded with is to bring them even to people's court. Before we get this thing, it's going to be a serious legal battle. And Nigeria, we know who is who and who owns the party. But let me quickly put it straight. By Ladipo, though we are friends, but this time around, I need to tell you the bitter truth. How can you say, as a barrister, we have an organ of a body that I'm speaking, that there's no head and you are existing? The party you came to after 21 years, how will you tell me that there wasn't any board? The board was not dissolved, even when Dr. Aniebonam, in his magnanimity, was handing over the party. He did not throw away the board. If you look at the composition of the board by this constitution, it was consisted of the former chairman of the party, former secretaries, former board of trustees, and the members. So all these people are there. So the meeting that was held yesterday was third meeting under this dispensation. So what are we talking about? How could somebody come to all Nigerians that are not full, that you have a political party that has no board? How could any company exist without board? So if you are telling Nigerians that NNPP existed without a board, I think that is political harakiri. And it means as if somebody, you are trying to hide something here. The NNPP in Nigeria, we have only one board. And the board sat. And at the board meeting, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam resigned as the chairman of the board. He said he wants to remain as the founder. He is the founder of this party. If we don't have a founder, why did you went to Uwalu? He was not there when they went to Uwalu. Let me put this straight. 3 major Nigerians went to Uwalu with Baba Galadima. Senator Nkuyi, because of this, their political recklessness, left the party. Senator Nkuyi was part of the signatory to that MOU. And one Professor Angui, they have all left. If we are talking about Air Vice Marshal Evemeje today, where is he? Because what they want is they want to Kwankwaso the party, and we said no. I've told it to Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso face to face several times that you met us in this party. That in Ogun State, when I was the chairman of Ogun State, because I'm not the national secretary by the special grace of God, I've been winning election. Local government election in Ogun State, everybody has used to be NNPP won. Without Kwankwaso, nobody knew that Kwankwaso would be coming. And when he came, what they did, that surprised all of us. I personally took somebody who said he's interested to contest as a president of the platform of our party to Dr. Musa Kwankwaso. He said he should go and take a senatorial something, as if we are running a kind of a party that is just a one-man show. But because we still want the party to move, all what we will subject people to is to have primaries. What they did at their own kangaroo NWC that they are talking about is to just go and sit down at his sitting room and dining room and take decision. Now, that is by the side. But now to go to what you have said.
But before you take that, I want you to respond to also the anti-party activity.
No, the anti-party activity I said is not there. He said it. He is not the one in charge of affairs in Ogun State.
Did you support another person?
No, it was a lie. What happened was that I'm saying it, but I was then the chairman of all the other political parties, not under IPAC, different interests that come together, peoples of different life minds, and they met and we talk. And when I'm going for any meeting, as a politician, I don't go to a meeting alone. I call the Congress of everybody to come. And at that meeting, nothing happens. When we were now on radio, they call me as if I'm here now. You have a APC person, PDP person. When I said they shouldn't talk, all what I clamoring for, let them bring the tape, was that we need free and fair election on Saturday. But when they now see you with any others, they start saying things. But let me now come to the real Antiparty. That Nigerians, I'm calling on you to do justice to this. This is Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso that you will see in the morning at the villa. In the afternoon, you will see him with Atiku. In the night, he's with Obi. Doing what? Nobody can trade this party. Is it not on the platform of NNPP? They even went to the extent that they are talking Maja. And what the BOT look at is to look at all these activities. In the so-called NWC, they are saying why they were sacked and they are not there, is that most of the people that are mentioned, who were part of it, they've resigned and they were never replaced. The current person that they said it happens to be their AG did not follow the due process of how people comes into power.
Okay, let's very quickly address a few issues because we've got just a couple of minutes left. Number one, is there a BOT?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Now, who are the members of the BOT?
Thank you. According to this constitution, the members of BOT are the past chairmen of the party.
Okay.
The past BOT chairmen, okay. The past secretaries.
Okay, so how many of them? We don't have a lot of time. So how many of them were at this meeting where you suspended?
The record of the meeting.
How many of them?
The total number of those people that came for that meeting, they were not less than 60.
60.
And we have
they
the record.
all members?
They are members of the board.
So
signed with their phone numbers.
Do you have as members of BOT? 60 or 100 or 200?
No, the point is that we have 5 in each geopolitical group, which is that is 30. That is 30. Yes. The other 30 were the past secretaries. So
they were all
there.
So who are the people that were present in the meeting in Abuja? You don't know.
The people in Abuja, I will tell you, I know.
Okay.
What they did, you know, I'll be there.
Let me go to Ladipo Johnson. Ladipo Johnson, please help us understand very quickly in just 1 minute. Who were the people that were present at the meeting where you ended up suspending all the members of this BOT that Comrade is saying exists?
The people there, the governor of Kano State, the speakers, members, House of Reps representing them, all the state chairmen were there, National Working Committee was there, except of course
a lot of influential people. So these people are they?
Major Agbo, who had been suspended at that time.
Mr.
So
Johnson,
these are the things.
Mr.
But
Johnson,
back, let me
the
just
National Working Committee then, what's the composition of the National Working Committee? Who are the people that are within the National Committee?
National Chairman, Deputy National, National Chairman, Deputy National Chairman, and all the principal officers. I'm the National Auditor.
At this meeting?
Treasurer, whatever. They were all there with their deputies because it was a neck. They were there, except of course, Major Agbo, who was under suspension and has since been expelled.
In view of that, would you say it is fair and right to suspend the person who set up a party? Look at Awolowo when he set up a political party, action group. Can you possibly imagine somebody will say he's suspended? Can you imagine somebody suspending either Buhari from CPC? On what basis would you say the owner of the party is suspended without trying to create a problem? Please explain very quickly.
Thank you very much. It's a brilliant question. First thing, my brother, there is no owner of the party under the Nigerian Constitution or Electoral Act or under the Constitution of the party. That's the first thing. I cannot imagine that Obafemi Awolowo of blessed memory would single-handedly, if he were chairman of a board, write outside the party, to the police, to whatever, saying he's reversing, without the board sitting, he's reversing the decisions of the NEC or National Working Committee. It's high-handedness, and that is why we are where we are at in Nigeria. Because we believe in sentiments.
That's a reason to expel, not even have a disciplinary committee that will review? Was there a disciplinary committee that reviewed his just expulsion?
Excuse me. There is. He got his letter. They have been sent letters. You are suspended pending disciplinary actions. They should go and challenge it. We followed the rule. The fact that someone is, let's say, a founder or one of the founders does not mean he's not subject to the Constitution.
I want you to look at the article that says about
Mr. Johnson.
This article, this Constitution,
Constitution
says explicitly the founder of the party, which is Article 7, that the founder of the party shall be the life member of the board.
Read it out.
The life member of the board. You have it with you there. But what we are trying to do now is that we learn that they want to go and doctor this constitution because it gave enormous power to the board of trustees.
Can you read that section out?
Yes, I'm reading it now. 7.1. I can even read it on my phone. So they have it there. They know that the founder of the party is with enormous power by this constitution. Yes, this is what this is the article, and I put it out to you now. You read it out there. We have it on every one of us. We know that the founder of the party is the life member of the board. That is what the constitution says.
Can you read it out, Mr. Johnson, in your part, so that we have an agreement on this part of the constitution, so it's on record? Mr. Johnson, is there any part of it that says the same in your constitution?
Party. Look, Rufai, the founder of the party is a life member. The constitution goes further later on. You see, you read things together. You're a life member. Article 2, can you take the constitution from him and look at the top of page 65, sir?
Okay.
Take it from Oginni and look at 65.
65.
Nothing in this article shall prevent the National Working Committee from suspending a member of the party. This is democracy. The constitution assumes that you have a rational
Hold on.
leadership, founder or founders. It doesn't assume that you have one that is committing infractions against the constitution. No one says he shouldn't be a life member.
So
does that mean that if you're a life member of the board, you do all sorts of things? You don't. So you read the constitution as a whole.
Okay. So
you read it as a whole. No one says he shouldn't be a member of the whatever.
Okay, so the Article 2 you wanted me to read is here. It says that the party shall also have the power to amend the constitution and say that no amendment of the constitution shall be valid unless a motion passed by 2/3 majority of the members present and the voting and the national convention.
You are reading the wrong thing, Rufai.
This is page 65.
65.
Yes.
Article 39. Article 39.62.
Article 39.62, page 65.
Unless yes, top of page 65. Unless Mr. Oginni has manufactured his own, he's my brother.
Okay, so it says nothing in the article shall prevent the National Working Committee from suspending a member of the party against whom disciplinary proceedings are pending before any organ of the party with respect to offences contained in this constitution where the circumstances are cogent and compelling, provided that such suspension shall not exceed a cumulative period of 12 months.
So that is what we have.
Thank you very much. Now, when you read that, when you read that together with other things, and you read the Constitution of Nigeria and the Electoral Act, then tell me where one person can say, yes, I am a life member of the board, and say that I can do as I do, there's no constitution.
Thank you so much.
Possible.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Let
Johnson.
us be reasonable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oginni. We're resting here. The conversation on NNPP keeps going on, and we'll definitely capture all the sides, all the arguments right here on the Arise News channel. All sides, all views. That's Arise News.